Amidst the neon-lit skyscrapers of late 22nd century Earth, Dr. Alina Voss stared at the impossible. A fragmented cube of shimmering energy, pulsating erratically inside a glass containment field in her lab, dubbed the Chronos Shard. It wasn't just an artifact, it was a tear in time itself, a fragment from 700 years in the future that somehow now existed in the present. Alina had discovered it just weeks ago after a mysterious pulse shattered a chunk of the Earth's magnetic field, creating a cataclysmic storm in the Pacific. The government called it a freak phenomenon, but Alina knew what she had found. It was a warning from the future. Her lab assistant, Jarek, paced nervously behind her. "Alina, listen to me," he said, his voice trembling. "You're playing with something beyond us. What if the shard isn't a warning? What if it's a trap?" She spun her chair around, glaring. "It's not a trap, Jarek. This is humanity's only chance to fix what's coming." Her voice softened. "If we don't figure this out now, everyone will die. Not just in this era, but in the future, too. The future." That was exactly why she couldn't stop, despite the risks. 30 years ago, during a lecture from her mentor, Alina had first heard the theory of the time collapse, the idea that multiple time streams, once thought to be infinite, might one day fold inward under the pressure of entropy, obliterating past, present, and future in a single cosmic implosion. Since the discovery of the Chronos Shard, she knew this theory wasn't a fringe idea anymore. It was happening, slowly unraveling along the edges of existence. Yet, how could one solve a problem they couldn't even comprehend? The shard offered no clear answers, no roadmap. Its surface was inscribed with symbols, a strange mix of mathematical equations and what looked like ancient hieroglyphs. It seemed to pulse faster whenever Alina approached it, as if it could sense her presence. Then it happened, the moment she had been dreading. The lights in her lab dimmed, and the containment field blazed violently. An alarm blared. "This can't be good," Jarek muttered, rushing to the console. The shard's energy was destabilizing. Before they had time to react, a vortex of light erupted from it and expanded outward, engulfing the room and dissolving the walls into a brilliant void. Alina and Jarek screamed as the lab disappeared, leaving them suspended in an endless glowing expanse of white. When Alina reopened her eyes, she was no longer in her lab. She was standing on the surface of some bleak world, bathed in dim purple light. Jarek was nowhere to be seen. Around her, towering ruins stretched endlessly, their jagged edges riddled with gaping holes. The air buzzed with strange metallic whispers, a language that burrowed into her mind and made her blood turn to ice. "You are not meant to be here," came an omnipotent voice. It echoed from nowhere and everywhere at once. Alina spun in a panic. "Where am I? Who are you?" The ground beneath her flickered, and a silhouette emerged. Humanoid, but fractured, like shards of glass suspended in a humanoid frame. "I am what remains of your future," it said, "and you have come to witness its end." In a rush of despair, the creature explained, the time streams had converged too soon. Humanity had meddled with forces they didn't understand, accelerating the collapse instead of preventing it. The shard itself was their desperate attempt to send back a small fragment of hope, knowledge, to rewrite an irreversible fate. But even that was too late. Alina fell to her knees, trembling. "No, there has to be a way. Tell me how to stop it." The creature's fractured eyes flickered with something akin to sorrow. "You cannot stop what has already begun, but you may still spark a new path. Only choices echo across time." Suddenly, a deep, guttural rumble erupted around her. The ground split as chaos unleashed itself from the distant horizon, consuming everything in its wake. The silhouette began to dissolve like sand in the wind. "With every ending, there is the seed of a beginning," it whispered, fading out of existence. "Remember this when you return to your present. And then, just like that, Alina awoke in her lab. The Chronos shard once again contained, but cracked now, its pulsating totally silent. Yarek shook her awake. "Alina, are you okay? One minute you were standing there, and the next, tears streamed down her face as she grabbed his arm. We need to rewrite everything we know, Jarek. This shard holds the key, but the choice is ours now. We may have only one last chance." Outside, the first stars of the evening sky began to shimmer faintly. But Alina knew even the stars themselves weren't guaranteed to stay. Time was collapsing, and humanity's fate was on the edge of her trembling hands.